Hey everyone, Adam Beck here from HardcoreGamer.com, and today we're taking a look at Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. We were invited down to take a sneak peek at the new expansion and want to give a quick overview of some of the jobs. We have a couple videos for different classes, but this is for tanks. This includes Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, and Gunbreaker. Right off the bat, let's start with Paladin. The poster child of Endwalker, Paladin has received a couple of changes that will help the job flow a little better. For starters, Requiescat has been removed as a dedicated ability in favor of Imperator, which now triggers the Confiteor combo. This also changes into a new OGCD skill after finishing the combo. To reduce button bloat, Goring Blade is no longer a dedicated button, but activated when Fight or Flight is used. Atonement no longer has 3 charges, but instead changes its follow-up attacks into 2 unique skills with their own animations. Finally, Sentinel has been upgraded to Guardian with enhanced defensive abilities. So while there aren't too many changes to speak of, Paladin just feels a little smoother overall. Now onto one of my personal favorite jobs, Warrior. Similar to Paladin, not a whole lot has changed, but now you're going to be unga-bungaing even more, while being able to soak more damage. For starters, the Infuriate Inner Chaos has a new, impactful animation. At the end of the Inner Release window, the Inner Release button will transform into Primal Wrath, an OGCD slam that deals even more damage. There's also a follow-up to Primal Ren called Primal Ruination, which can be banked for 30 seconds. And finally, Vengeance has been transformed into Damnation, which basically offers the same effects with an added HP regen. Well, it's not like Warrior was in need of more healing capabilities, but hey, more is always better, right? As you can see, Warrior isn't that much different, but it has a lot more graphically intense hitting moves outside of Primal Ren now. Moving on to Dark Knight, the brooding job hasn't picked up too many modifications. As you can see, there might be a theme here. Similar to Paladin's Atonement, Delirium has 3 unique skills now, making it a more unique burst ability. The best quality of life change, though, is that Blood Weapon has been implemented directly into Delirium, no longer being its own button. Living Shadow now has a follow-up attack called Disesteem at level 100, which deals immense amount of damage in a straight line, something your Living Shadow can imitate like it does Shadowbringer. Unfortunately, Square has elected to remove Plunge in favor of Shadow Stride, which does no damage. It frees up Dark Knight's burst a bit, but it's strange that Paladin and Warrior's gap closures still retain their own damage. Finally, like the other tanks, its 2-minute defensive ability, Shadow Wall, has been upgraded to Shadow Vigil, and outside of the damage reduction, it will now heal the player after 20 seconds or if their HP drops below 50%. Even though it looks like Dark Knight received the same treatment as the other tanks, I actually think it received the fewest meaningful changes. Alright, and finally we have Gunbreaker. Introduced in Shadowbringers, this tank has gone a lot more chaotic. To ease the button bloat a bit, Sonic Break has been condensed into a follow-up skill in No Mercy, ensuring it will never slip out of the burst window. Bloodfest now activates a new level 100 skill called Reign of Beasts, which is a 3-hit combo that now deals the job's most damage. The problem with this combo is that it can be interrupted by another skill such as the Gnashing Fang combo. I wish you could just start and swap between the combos to line things up better. Gunbreaker also loses Rough Divide in favor of Trajectory. Similar to Dark Knight, this no longer does any damage and the animation is not as satisfying. Finally, Gunbreaker's 2-minute mitigation, Nebula, has been turned into Great Nebula, adding an extra 10% damage reduction, along with increasing and restoring the job's HP by 20% for 15 seconds. Overall, I'm not too fond of how Gunbreaker has been handled, just adding another combo to its already busy burst. And that's it for tanks. What do you think? We enjoyed what we saw with Warrior and are very hopeful for what Paladin has to offer. Anyways, be sure to check out our other Dawntrail videos detailing the other jobs. Otherwise, for everything Final Fantasy XIV and gaming related, head on over to hardcoregamer.com for your fix.